Here I am. Here I am.
Hey, all right, we good? There you are. You hear me?
I hear you. I hear you.
All right, we're back. We're back. All right. So anyway, I won't share that song anymore. But by far my favorite song. Um, by far my favorite one that you've done. I love I love the song lyrically, but I just loved your reaction to it. Um, Kind of walk me through that a little bit, maybe. What uh what what was it about that song that kind of hit you?
Um, I'm hearing an echo.
Are you hearing an echo?
Yes.
There we go. How about now?
Let me see. All right, we're good. Well, with that particular song, it's just that it was building up, so I was already kind of anticipating where it's going to go. Because musically, you can kind of anticipate where a band's going to go and where they're going to drop. That's why some of the songs they had a longer build. I thought they were going to come in, but they just build longer, so it was just building more of that anticipation. I would imagine that they did that to get people to feel what they were repeating, sort of that prayer, or I'm not even sure what to call it. I'm sorry, I don't know the terminology, but it's like repeat it, so that they can intensify that feeling, and then when they get to that peak, they're like fully engaged in that feeling. But instead of giving me that, it quieted down, and it was like I am not right. So it
Mhm.
caught me off guard. It was like honestly, it felt to me like a window was just blown wide open, and I was like vulnerable. It was like, okay, here we go. You thought we were gonna go over there, but we hit you down over there. And so and then it was nice and soft. I was lost, and just like the instruments just. So I couldn't help it. Like it got it. I was actually going to stop the video and start over,
No.
but I was like, oh no, I can't, because then I'm not gonna be able to authentically react to it. The second time around, it's gonna be, I already know what's gonna come. So
Right.
I just leave it, and that's why, like, I covered my face, because I didn't know what to do at that moment. I was like, okay, I'm in this already. I'm like tearing up,
Yeah.
so like, all right, let's get through this. And then I was like, okay, just stick to the music, listen to the music. This is trying to tell you something. There's a message here, and what is it? Like, stay focused. And so I focused on the words. I held on to the words, and then it was just, I was already there, and it's like, this is so beautiful. That's why I was like, this is so beautiful. Like, I couldn't process what I was feeling at that moment.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's one of those songs, like I said, like lyrically, it just grabs you. Um, where it goes through the process of like God's love for us and what that looks like. And I'm looking them up right now actually. Um, 'Cause there was
The
two
lyrics.
parts. Yeah, I got it. There was two
Okay.
parts that like you kind of, it was one, it was I was found before I was lost. I was
Hmm.
yours before I was not. Um,
Right.
and then I don't know. I don't you know music better than I do, and I know it's either the chorus or the bridge. But the part where where's it at? I was found before I was lost. Your love's too good to leave me here. Right? Your love's too good to leave me here. You like that was another part that you were like it just like
It's
your
just
face.
it's a
It just caught you.
it's a mixture. It's a mixture of everything. It's
Yeah.
like when they eat a certain meal, most people are like, "Oh, it tastes good." Like, your vocabulary is somewhat limited to just, "Oh, that's good," or it's hot, or it's spicy, or it's salty, or it's sweet. It's just that. And then you have people who are like, "Oh, these, I could taste the peppermint in there mixed in with the whatever, like the saltiness." And then after that. Comes this warm feeling in the back of your tongue, that they're very intricate in explaining what the separating the taste
Right.
from that bite. And so what was going on there was, you have what the pattern, obviously, of the drum beat. I always follow the drum beat. It's like the heart of the song.
Mm-hmm.
And then, all the other instruments, like the guitar, they're just supporting what is being said lyrically. And just in terms of, I think visually. Almost every sound to me, I reinterpret I guess my brain just reinterprets it into images, into visuals.
Right.
And so as I'm listening to things like I was found before I was lost, like I totally picture that, of
Mm.
what that must be like to be found before you even know that you're lost. Like before I even knew that I was lost, I was already found. So doesn't that cancel out being lost? So
Yeah. Yeah. Man, come
it
on.
cancels
You're
it out.
preaching.
It cancels it out. Like I love language, I love music, and so when you put those two together and you give me a nice lyric and it paints a beautiful image on, it touches me, like it opens me up, and it bypasses my mental defenses and my emotional defenses, and it just hits me right in the spirit.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, and we get when the guy comes in strong with that gravelly tone, that moment where you're listening, you're like, wait, what was that?
Yeah, because it wasn't what I was used to. You hear
Yeah.
Taya, and then I think I heard Joel already. I think,
Mm-hmm.
or was it George, the other guy with the long hair? I heard someone else before,
Yeah.
and I was not expecting that voice. And it's very, um, I don't know. I guess earthy is the way that I could describe it. It's very, you can tell that that's his voice. It wasn't. Uh, what like trained.
Yeah.
You could tell that was who he was.
Just raw. So
Right.
when you started these YouTube videos, you it's like on Oceans, you said reactions of a non-Christian. And so I've watched I think all of your videos now. As a lot of people on here just binge watching your videos. You're just fun to watch, man. But I've heard you say in a couple, either on your lives on Instagram or maybe even in the YouTube videos, that you've said in a couple recent videos, like you are spiritual, but you don't call yourself a Christian. And so in those you say you're non-Christian. So can we talk about kind of what that means to you, and maybe I know people want to hear your story. So let's get into like your spiritual journey maybe, or your story, kind of where you come from.
Okay.
Like did you grow up with faith, like that kind of stuff. So
Sure.
you want to just roll with it, or do you need me to guide questions?
Yeah. I could roll with it, and then if you have any questions or if anybody else,
Perfect. Let's go with it. Yeah. So kind of give me that. What you say you're
I would.
spiritual. Kind of walk me through that. Walk me through your spiritual journey a little bit.
Okay. Well, from I guess from where I can remember, I was raised Catholic. I was raised Catholic. I would go to the Catholic Church. My grandfather he was religious, but he was more philosophical. Like he shared a lot of little golden nuggets, little life lessons with me that I later found were very that followed like Stoicism,
Mm.
which is like a Greek ideology, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
But I grew up Catholic, and my grandfather taught me how to play guitar. I would go over to Mexico in the summers to basically just learn guitar when I was 14. When I was 15, I went back to Mexico, and he asked me, he goes, "Do you already know?" I'm gonna mix the two, my spirituality with music, if that's okay.
Yeah, go for it. Sounds like they're
He
interconnected anyway.
Yeah, they are actually. So he tells me, he goes, "Do you remember all the chords that I taught you last year?" I said, "Yes, yes, sir." And he goes, "Okay, well, listen, I can't play as loudly as I used to, so you're gonna come with us," because they used to serenade and go to parties and stuff and play, at special events. And he's like, "Well, you're gonna come with me, and you're gonna watch me. And when I change chords, you change chords, but you're gonna play it louder than me." I said, "Okay." So I started learning little romantic songs, putting them in my list, putting them
Yeah.
in my arsenal. I use that correctly, but so my grandfather was not able to play anymore. When I went back when I was 16, he really was just in no shape to leave the house. Even he was just sort of weak. He would fall often, and so I would go to the gigs with my uncles on his behalf, and we'd get paid. That was actually the first time I ever got paid to play music. I was like, really? Like I can get paid to do this? Like what I really love. Plus, I'm hanging out with my family, and I would get home and I would give him what I would make, obviously, because I didn't have any use for money. I mean, my grandmother cooked some delicious Mexican dishes
Yeah.
every single day. I mean, I had some for like ice cream and churros and all the wonderful delicacies that Mexico has to offer.
Oh yeah.
But he passed away sadly that year when I was 16, 1999. And well, the day that he passed away, I was very conflicted because he was the only father figure that I really had growing up. I didn't grow up with my father. But that summer was super emotional. I think some of the people saw on Instagram the other day. I posted a photo. I was like, making this like really emotional face. That was my grandfather sitting behind me, and he would sit there, just soaking in the music. So I think I picked that up a little bit from him. But I was conflicted because that summer I met my father, my real father, for the first time, and that initial interaction that I had with him was not what I was hoping it to be. He was very sort of kind of bad mouthing my mom when my mom never actually ever told me anything negative about him. I was excited to know more about him, but he was just like kind of on the defense, defending his actions of what happened and why they got separated and stuff. He was just a drunkard and just, violent, very violent person. And so it was emotional because I met him for the first time, and then I lost my actual real father figure. Like I lost him all in the same summer. But to make a long story longer, the day that he passed, I think my grandmother saw that I was torn. So in the middle of the night, she sends me to the bakery, because in Mexico the bakeries are open at night, and the bakers make a little extra cash selling. They exaggerate the breads and they sell them for a little extra money.
Yeah.
So I was on my way, and I'm not sure how. I'm just going to tell my story. I'm not sure how.
Don't censor, man. Just do it.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Thank you. I just want to be respectful as I possibly can. But I was on my way to the bakery, and I started to have my conversation with God, and I said, "Okay, God, my grandfather was the most important person like in my life. He taught me not just how to play guitar, which I later on found would come to find that it was going to be a very, very useful skill to have. But I said he was the only person that really truly like protected me. If I could just ask you for one thing, can you make him my guardian angel and have him continue watching over me, like in the from beyond, from that realm?"
Yeah.
And as soon as I finished that sentence, the power went off in the entire block, just where I was standing, just where I was walking. So I dared. My heart was racing, and then I look across the street into the other next block. The block had light. The block behind me had light, so it was only in this block. And I said, "Is that my sign?" Because I asked for a sign. I said, "Give me a sign if you agree to this." Yeah. And then as soon as I asked, I said, "Is that my sign?" I felt like a really warm sensation in the pit of my stomach that began to like spread throughout my entire body. And, it was a warmth that it wasn't words. There weren't words, but I guess somehow interpreted that feeling into a language that I could understand, that said to me, "Okay, you got it. You got yourself a guardian angel. Someone's going to look out for you. You're going to be taken. Don't worry about it." And as soon as that message came through, the lights kicked back on. I didn't think of it. Of course, I wanted to tell everyone because you experience something as unique as that. You want to tell the whole world, just much like everyone who has seen my videos want to share their personal experience with Christ and how they came to find their peace.
Yeah.
As the years went by, I came back to the U.S. and I played guitar at my church in Compton. I grew up in Compton. I was playing guitar in the church there, and I finally had the guts to explain to my uncle what had happened. My uncle grew up in a house where his wife was a Jehovah's Witness, but he was, they never interfered with one another. But when my grandfather passed away, he had questions, and so he had her, available, and so he asked questions, and she spoke to him about what Jehovah wanted from from him, and were just questions about my grandfather. So he converted. So when I finally got the chance to express what I was going through to my uncle, he tells me, well, the Bible says that God doesn't perform miracles like that anymore. He's sort of like, backed off a little bit, and he doesn't want anything to do with mankind. And this is actually the devil that's toying with you. He's playing around with you, and he's with you, making you think it's your grandpa, but it's not. And so I was instantly conflicted and confused, And so I said, okay, I'm not going to take that fully to heart, because my grandfather taught me to question everything before I accept it as ultimate truth. Yeah. And so I went to the person who I trusted, and I said, hey, I got to ask you something. This is what's been happening to me. So this is the second time that I confess what I have personally experienced. And I said, but my uncle said that the Bible says this. Is it true? And he mistook my curiosity for disbelief and blasphemy, and he began to treat me differently. And one day we were playing in the middle of mass, and
did you say who that was?
Pardon?
Did you say who that was that you told that to?
The priest. The priest from. Yeah. Sorry, I don't know if I did. So I asked the priest, and as a representative of God, I trusted him. I put full trust in him. So I trusted that story with him, and he started treating me differently. But one day during mass, we're playing, and during communion, it was a really long line, because there were like a wedding or something. And the leader of the choir told me, he said, hey, we got to make this song a little longer. You think you can play a little solo? I said, sure. So I played a little something, it wasn't crazy, nothing like Carlos Santana. I didn't turn on the distortion pedal or anything and start Van Halen or going, whatever. But I played something mellow, something nice, something heartfelt, But at the end of mass, he approaches me and he said, hey, listen, I want you to know that people don't come here to praise you. They come here to praise God. And if you ever do anything like that ever again, you and I are going to have a serious talk, and you're not going to be welcome here anymore. So that hit me right in the feelings,
Of course.
And so I went home, and I was just conflicted, and I had a pain in the pit of my stomach that told me, don't go back. Just don't go back. So immediately I turned that hurt into anger, and angry. I focused my anger on God, because I was, okay, I had this special moment with you, and now that's been tainted because I need you, and you're nowhere to be found. So you don't exist to me. You just don't exist. I'm upset with you. Don't talk to me. Yeah. And I went about the world for a couple of years calling myself an atheist, foolishly, if I can say that now. But I was, I dissected the Bible, looking for stuff that I didn't like in it, just so that I can use it as ammo for the next person who dared even approach me to try to talk to me about God. And as soon as they did, I was just an ugly person. I was just laying it on them. I started looking at other religions just for the sake of making my argument stronger, that Hinduism was also stupid, and Buddhism was also stupid, and Muslims were stupid, and anybody who believed that were stupid. A few years passed, and I was the type that I was purposely strike up conversations with street preachers just so that I can, give them a piece of my mind.
Yeah, definitely.
Really angry. So one day, I was somebody said, well, you should try meditating. And I was like, meditation? Come on, that's foolish stuff. That doesn't work. So I sat down and I was like, I'm going to try it just to prove that it doesn't work. So I tried it, nothing. I was like, see, it doesn't work. And someone who actually meditated says, no, you're going into it wrong. He said, you actually are going into it. You're expecting to receive something, but meditation, the purpose of meditation is to let go of something. And I think that was a point. By the way, this person was a Christian. I think that was a turning point, because I think what they were trying to say is you're holding on to something here, and you need to let it go. So I said, okay, I'll try it that way again. And I sat down and I meditated. I want to let go of this. I want to let this go. I want to let this go, but nothing. So I was like, all right, see, this is stupid. I went into the shower, and that's when I really let that go, because I I was in the shower and I started speaking again. I started having that conversation with God, the atheist talking to God,
Yeah.
you know, and I said, okay, you know what? I'm tired. I'm really tired of this. I'm tired of fighting you. I'm tired of fighting with your people. I'm tired of just this chase, you know, like I'm tired. I want to move on from this
Mhm.
and anything else. And I said, you know what, if you're really there, if you're really there, I'm ready. Just come to me. Just please do me a favor. I said, I don't want to hear anything through about the Bible, and I don't want to hear what another man has to say about you. I want you. I need you.
Yeah.
I want you, specifically you. So by the way, this is like, yeah. um, as soon as I finished that sentence, that warm feeling in the pit of my stomach came again, you know, and it was like, it's like the phone ringing, you know, for me. So I answered, and this bigger embrace than the first time, I remember, like completely just wrapped itself around me. So much so that I felt, you know, again, I didn't grow up with a father, so I don't know what it's like for a father to hug me, to,
Mhm.
you
Yeah.
know, father to, so I don't know what that feels like. My grandfather smelled like cigarettes, so I would hug him, but he would never like say, come and give me like a big old hug.
Yeah.
And so it this warm sensation just completely wrapped itself around me and hugged me like a father would. So I absolutely understand why people consider God to be like a father figure, you know.
Mhm. Yeah.
I call it the Great Spirit for the sake of not uh, for the sake of not attaching an image to it, you know,
Mm.
an, a visual image. When I call it the Great Spirit, it can literally form itself. For me, it forms itself as anything. It can appear to me as you, even, you know. But anyway, I digress. So let me finish that story. I immediately started crying like a child, just sobbing in the shower, just bawling my eyes out.
Mm.
And it's and again, that feeling was interpreted into words that I could understand it, and it said to me simply, "Okay, dude, like I get it. You needed me, and these people turned you against me, and I wasn't there. Like, but actually, I want you to know I was there, but
Mm.
you
Come
didn't
on.
you didn't see me."
Yeah.
And it said, "Okay, you don't want. I get it. You don't want to be a part of anything. I don't. I. Okay, no censoring. You said no censoring.
Yeah, you're good.
I know how this is going to sound, so I'm
This is
not.
the
But I'm not going to
arsenal. We
say
don't
it.
censor.
But it said, okay, you don't belong to a group. You don't belong to a religion. You don't belong to a practice. You don't belong to rituals. You don't belong to any of that. You belong to me.
Mm.
That's the way it's going to be. But I'm going to tell you this. If you're going to walk this path, you got to do exactly what I say. And when I call you, you better answer. And I said, okay, let's do it. And he said, okay, you're gonna get out of the shower and you're gonna take that Bible that you circled and put tabs on to, you know, to make, you know, to discredit. You're gonna go back and you're gonna read. You're gonna start reading some stuff that I'm gonna point to, and I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna. In other words, from internally, I'm gonna tell you what it means.
Mm.
You don't have to worry about. You don't have to depend on anyone else to translate it. And that doesn't mean that I'm not that I only believe what I took from it, because that's why I love this approach, because I get to ask people questions if they're open to it,
Yeah.
to see how they interpret, so that I can see, okay, my interpretation versus their interpretation, you know, that whole bit. But anyway, I said, okay, I said, sure. And we started off with Genesis, and you know, I took a look at that, and later, of course, life happens and I got in the way, and then again I went back to wanting to make things my way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I wanted to make things my way. But recently, I met someone who is a Christian, and she's my girlfriend. Um, and you know, when I'm hanging out with her, she'll play, you know, worship music in the background, and from time to time, I'll catch like a little melody, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and well, I'm jumping a big part, but it's okay. um, I was hanging out with her, and that whole right,
Yeah.
and whatever. All right, I'll see you later. Well, and then I go, by the way, what was that song that was on earlier that I told you that I liked? She's like, it's Oceans. And I go, oh, oh, okay, Oceans. Cool, 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 cool. I go, are you sure? Because I don't remember hearing anything about like Ocean. She's like, oh, I'm pretty sure. And I was like, all right, whatever. So then I looked up Oceans because I was gonna drive home, and I was gonna drive home, and I was like, okay, I want to listen to it just because I really like that melody. It caught my attention. All right. Little did I know that it was actually going to be another phone call, another internal, like the what did you call it, the bad the bad
bat
call,
phone, the bat phone.
yeah, the bad phone. Um, and so I play it, and it's Oceans, and I hear a little bit of it, and I was like, that doesn't sound anything like what I heard. I was like, no, that's not it. So then I looked up Spirit Lead Me, and then I found a song or a video that had just the last part repeating itself several minutes long.
Yeah.
So I'm listening to it and I'm hearing it, and it wasn't even their version of it. It was just another version. And I heard it over and over and over again. I was like, cool, this is really nice. I really like this melody. I really like what they did. And I get home. I'm writing in my journal because I keep a journal where I write, where I keep things out of my head so that it's not just spinning around in there doing its damage. Mm-hmm. Listen, I throw on other headphones because I didn't even have these yet. I bought these because I did the YouTube channel, and I have my headphones on, and I'm listening to Deftones, which is another favorite band of mine. And I'm listening to a bass line, and I'm like, oh, that bass line is awesome. Suddenly the warm sensation came again, and I was like, uh-oh. And then it was like, whenever I feel that, I didn't even get into the numbers thing, but that's another, maybe we'll leave that for another conversation. But whenever I feel that, it's just like, it tells me to be still, it's like that's how I answer the call. So I said, okay, so I took off the headphones. I sit down in this very couch, in this very room. And I said, okay, I'm still. And it was like, what do you want? What do you mean, what do I want? Because obviously this whole COVID thing has stopped my music like completely, because I play at parties, like just like my grandfather taught me. Mm-hmm. And so I don't have any, I don't have much to like much work in that field right now. So what do you want to do? And I was like, okay. It was a series of things that had happened before this moment, including a friend who wanted me to listen to his music. I'm going to go back a little bit because this is kind of important. A friend of, I know a photographer on Instagram that does photography for celebrities, and one of my goals is to one day take the portrait, take Brandon Boyd's portrait, which is the lead singer of Incubus. I would love to take it. So if you're watching, Brandon,
yeah, somebody get a hold of Brandon. Let me call him. Hang on.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'll wait. I'll tell the story while you connect.
Yeah.
So I was like, I would love that, right? So I follow this photographer in hopes that his name is Brantley. I'll give him a shout out too, because this wouldn't even happen if it wouldn't. He's important to the story. I've been trying to reach him. Hey man, what's up? Oh, I love this photo. But he never pays attention. Obviously, he's busy. And he's got like Paul McCartney, he's got like Emma Stone, he's got like the Rolling Stones, like he's got like a bunch of artists.
Wow.
And I'm reaching out to nothing. But one day he posts on a story, he posts, hey, does anybody, okay, talk about like divine, like things being put in place, right? Hey, I'm releasing an album soon. Does anybody care to listen to the album before it's released and just give me your opinion on it? I said, me, right? I was like, obviously, like, I'd be stupid not to. So I was like, me. So then he goes, perfect. The first time he acknowledges me, he goes, perfect. He goes, here's the link. Just give me your thoughts. And it went to, I think it was SoundCloud, and SoundCloud let me leave little notes. So I started leaving little notes. Oh, I love the way the bass comes in. All these vocals sound great, but it sounds kind of off a little bit. I feel like it needs a second vocal maybe on top of it. And then, this guitar, I love this guitar riff. I left him a bunch of notes on every single track. I spent like maybe 2 hours listening to his music. I sent him back, said, hey, I just want you to know I love the album, but I left you notes. Go check them out. He checked them out. He got back to me the next day and he goes, dude, you left like detailed notes in the music, and I really appreciate that, because one of the songs that you said was your favorite, and you explained why it was your favorite. That's exactly why that's my favorite song. It's like Nacho Libre when he goes, you gotta be kidding me. Everything is my favorite thing to do every day. So I was like, awesome. So he likes it. And he goes, dude, you should totally be a music critic. And I was like, really? You think so? And I was like, yeah. He's like, yeah. And then I go, cool. So that's that with me, you know? So this day that I got the phone call, the Great Spirit says to me, what do you want? And I was like, I love music. So literally anything with music. He goes, no, be specific. What do you want? What do you want to do?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because I go on Facebook and shout out to Della and sorry, Della, who's my biggest fan on Facebook. I do my Facebook lives every once in a while, and I'll put my like Venmo thing, and I'll sing some Spanish music, and they've just been so generous, and they tip me online. I do my thing, and I'll let you all know about that if you're interested. It's mostly Spanish stuff that I sing, but he's like, you love music, you're doing that, so what do you want? Be specific, be very specific. And I said, I would love to be paid one day to critique music. That's what I want to do. And so then the Great Spirit said, well then do the reaction videos. I was like, reaction videos? What are you talking about? I was like, well, what do I do? He's like, that song, Oceans, And I was like, Oceans? I'm like, but that's Christian music. Like, I don't listen to Christian music, And he was like, would you just please just do it,
Wait, but you did listen to Christian music. Tell that little piece of the story.
That's
before you get into
right. To be fair, I was forced not to listen to it by the Great Spirit, because I used to live in San Bernardino, and a car that I had, the only radio station that would play was Air 101, which is a Christian rock station in the city of San Bernardino. And so yes, I was exposed to Skillet and what's the other one? Switchfoot, and I like the sound of the Storyside B and a couple of other stuff. So they wouldn't just play alternative rock. They had stuff like somebody mentioned the name of that song, but there's one that says, indescribable, uncontainable, you put stars in the sky and you know them by name. So yeah. So the lyrics, right? Like, how awesome is that? Like, you're singing to that creator that no one else can see but you, or that you feel, and you're saying it's indescribable, but you're uncontainable, and you know the stars. You put the stars in the sky and you know them by name, like that. Like, just that lyrically, that is
Chris Tomlin sang it, and Antonio Lombardi. Thanks for that. I couldn't think of it.
Yeah, and so and so So yeah, I would be like, okay, this is pretty cool. So it was part of my drive, It's not like I would listen to it out of my car, And so yeah, I listened to that, but it's been years. But see, that song really stuck with me. So this time it was like, yeah, just do it, And what's crazy is that those lyrics, I guess, stood out to me because it was like, don't you get it, stupid? The Great Spirit can be kind of fatherly in that sense too, like, sort of aggressive. But it was like, don't you get it? I'm trying to tell you, man. Spirit is going to lead you where your trust is without borders, because that's how I lived, throughout these years, just really holding back and not being able to comfortably speak about this is like the most comfortable I've ever been to speak about how I feel about my spirituality, because whenever the topic arises, everyone, it's just been my experience. It's like, poor guy, he needs to be saved, and without even respectfully saying, like, so where are you right now, spiritually, but I always respectfully, my grandfather taught me, always respond respectfully. But this young lady that I'm seeing now, she's been very respectful, and she shares things with me, and I see how open she is with her spirituality, and I was just moved, by it, and little by little, I started feeling comfortable, like, expressing myself in that way. And in fact, I just want to point out, I really do want to admit this, because I'm private about it, and not a lot of people know, because I'm not too open about it. But I was in her house before this whole COVID thing, and she puts on her music, so I like the music. But she attends this church. I think it's called East Side. And one day she just tells me, I'm going to watch it. So I was like, what's the link? She shared the link with me, and I started watching it. And quite frankly, I was intrigued, because this pastor wasn't just preaching like Jesus. He was touching on speaking in a way that it was very easily consumed, just speaking about emotions in detail, speaking with analogies,
Hmm.
you know, like real life analogies, which I absolutely love when people speak in analogies. Because again, I'm a visual person, and so visually, like when you speak, when you give me an idea, when you give me a picture, I'm picturing that, you know.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that I've learned is that people think differently. Some people hear and think in sound, some people think in pictures, and some people feel things, you know. So I've been sort of sensitive to those things. But so anyway, going back, like, you know, God was like pretty much saying, "Hey, like, I know that you don't trust. I know that you don't, but I want you to trust me. Make a reaction video to this song." And initially, I was like saying, like, I was thinking to myself, "But if I do that, no buts, just do it." I said, "But but if I do that, then people are going to think that I'm Christian. So I'm going to put non-Christian
Yeah.
reaction, you know." Just to put it out there, but then it's conflicting because then it's like, okay, but now they're gonna know I'm not Christian, and they're all gonna just, you know,
Yeah, they're gonna attack me.
they're gonna attack me, and I'm gonna be vulnerable, you know. And you know, it was like, just do it, and I'll take care of the rest.
Mm.
That's it. So then I was like, but then, you know, but I don't know how. I've never done a reaction video before. Yeah, but you edit videos almost you do that too for a living, so you know how to do that. It's not like you're starting from scratch.
Right.
I was like, okay, fine. So I set up my phone. I did it on my phone, which is the Galaxy S10. Uh, of course. And so I set it up, and I bought a speaker that I intended to use as like for like karaoke, and so I played that. I fed the music through there because you can hear the sound. The sound is like in the room. It's not on the video,
right?
Like the other song that I just recently made. So I was just like, I got creative, you know. I don't have tools, so I have to use what I've got, you know, to make of it. It's like the Mexican in me. And so okay, work with what you got. So then I started doing that, and so and then it took me. I was like, I don't know if I want to post this, man. It's just post it. I'll take care of the rest. So I posted it. A week passed. You know what? Like 50 views.
Mm-hmm.
A week and a half. You know, like, okay, fine. We're getting to 80 views. Cool. You know, and I started interacting with people. Like, oh, you know, some people were like, oh, this is awesome. Like, you're not a Christian. Yeah, sure. Please, like, you know, suggest songs. And then the suggestions started coming in. And someone was like, you should do that whole album. This whole album is cool. And I was like, okay, cool. Well, look, like, I can commit to one or two songs, but if I commit to one or two songs, I can quit on the second song.
Yeah.
But if I commit to a whole album, I'm in this thing, you know. I'm like, in it. So I go, fine, I'm gonna do an album. And you know, the procrastinator in me, it took me a while to do those last two songs. You know, I took 2 days off because I was like, the procrastinator in me is like, if you finish this, you're going to move on to something, like you're going to move on to the next phase. So I guess that was another insightful thing that I learned about myself, that I guess with these dialogues that I have with the Great Spirit internally, I learned little things like that about myself. So I posted the second one, and then I posted the third, and then little by little, it just started to grow. And I was like, man, like Oceans is almost up to 1,000. Like that's crazy to me.
Yeah.
And that's when you came into the picture. You know, and then all of a sudden it was just like, you know, one message, bro, I think it's great. What you're doing is great. My wife and I just like watched it, you know, and then I had like 7 videos out, and it was like, we just binge watch it. And I was like, well, that's like an hour and a half of your time. That's cool, you know. But now I'm like 14 videos in, and people are like, I'm binge watching. I'm like, please sleep, you know, sleep is important. Like, please we were up to like 4 a.m, my wife and I, watching you, and
yeah,
it's just great, you know. And I think that so anyway, that's where I am spiritually. I do believe in the Creator, which you all call the Father. To me it's the equivalent. And I do understand and appreciate the lessons that Jesus teaches or taught. From time to time, I do use the example of his crucifixion to point out just a couple of things that were very apparent in his path to the nailing of the cross.
Mm-hmm.
So I do appreciate that. I was talking to my new friend Steven earlier today, and he said to me, yeah, like, you know, I don't consider myself a Christian. You know, we had that guy said, I don't consider myself a Christian. He said, but I do consider myself a follower of Christ. And that kind of resonated with me because to a certain degree, I do follow the teachings of Christ, which the most important to me is to love. And I always, no matter what, no matter who, and my girlfriend will attest to this, that she's like, you're too nice. You're really too nice. This person's like literally treating you like crap and you're like making excuses for him. And I'm like, it's not that I'm making excuses for him. It's just that I'm trying to understand. I'm really trying. My heart is to understand because that's how we're going to get past this. If that's the only way to get past it.
And can I say that you can see that aspect of who you are through your videos. Like, I mean, let's be honest. I don't know that you've given like one song a 4-star. Like, you know, like what kind of critic are you? It's 5 stars for everything.
No, actually,
no, but
actually,
real, like,
I'm going to stop you.
You are just a nice guy, and I'm just messing with you on that. But you're a super nice guy. I mean, you can tell in your reactions, in your videos, for sure.
But I've seen some of the comments. Some of the people in the comments were like, you could just tell this dude is really nice, you know. And actually, someone in the first or second video suggested I do a reaction video to a Filipino trio called the TNT Boys, and so I did one, and one of the important things for me is to be completely authentic, as authentic as I possibly can. I just want to point out that I did hear Oceans before I reacted to it, but just to keep things fair, I heard a version that I've never heard before. So that version was one that I hadn't listened to at all, so that I can hear the difference between. And if you listen to different versions, you'll hear that they do something different all the time. Yeah. So I did a reaction video to the TNT Boys, and I said, "Oh, that first kid, I felt like he didn't want to come in. Like I felt like he was like hesitant to come in, and they just jumped on me for that. They were like, "You don't know what you're talking about. He's the best," and he's like, "You." And I was like, "Look, this is just my opinion on this performance. As it's not. I'm not personally attacking this kid. He's talented. He sings way better than I do, and that I possibly could ever like." Do no matter, I could practice every day and I wouldn't probably be as good as this kid, but I'm just saying, like, this performance, this is my honest opinion. And so I said, you know what, I'm not about that. I don't want conflict and contradiction in the comments. I want to spread as much positivity and as much love as I possibly can. And you know, forgive me if like in the comments I will just like your comment. You know, again, it goes back to that. I just want to ignore you. I don't want you to feel like ignored, because if you took the time to leave me a comment, I will at least like it so you can see that I read it, and I do read it. And sometimes I want to respond, but then I read it again and I go, okay, am I responding with love? I'm probably not going to respond with love. So I'm just going to like it, or I'm going to at least say, thank you for your comment. Because I had 2 people, I've only had 2 negative comments, I think, that I've seen. And they weren't even that bad, but I just liked it and I thanked them for their comment, for taking the time to comment.
For being a non-Christian, you're one of the best Christians I've ever known. No, in all honesty, just like your path and your journey of like your spiritual journey with the Great Spirit is incredible. And to me, I like what Steven said, and I think I don't know Steven, but I think Steven and I could be friends. Just seeing his comments,
let's do it,
and conversation you guys have done. But I agree. Like a follower of Christ, you know, guided by the Spirit. I think you're much further along in a journey than a lot of Christians that I would say. Just understanding what it's like to trust in the Spirit, and so I love kind of where you're walking and how you're walking down this thing. And that's like when I said, when we were going to first talk, I was like, man, I am not here to convert you. That's not my goal. I want to hear your story. And I get to hear I got to hear your story a couple nights ago and was like, oh man, I cannot wait for people to hear your story. Because you're just an incredible guy, and I can see that. And like I said, I think all it took was for your videos to get in front of people so that they could see your heart and your, like, the Spirit through you, just your eyes, the way you react. I mean, I loved it. And so I am glad that you listened to the Great Spirit and that you did these reaction videos. And so yeah, go ahead.
I find before, you know, because you made a point, okay, so you made the comparison, and that I'm more of it than some Christian, and I don't see it as a competition, but I think that
Here
we
you
can
go,
learn
being
from
nice again.
we can learn from each other, man. We really can. I've looked at music. Okay? I've looked at music from India, and I don't understand the music. I don't understand anything they're saying. I've read a little bit of the Bhagavad Gita, which is the conversation that Lord Krishna has with Arjuna,
Hmm.
and I took it just from an outside perspective, and with the intent to understand. Just as you said earlier,
Right.
listening with the intent to understand. And the only thing that I haven't looked at into mostly is Islam. I haven't taken a look at that, so I can't speak on for that. But I've also looked at Buddhism and what they believe, and like from that message from the Great Spirit that I was going to walk freely. I know a lot of people are inviting me to the church and they're hoping that I come to Christ, and I would I would I'm not saying I would love to, but and it's a very soft but. Um, I feel like I feel like I'm okay where I am right now. I'm happy. I'm happy where I am, and that's
Yeah.
not to say that I will be unhappy if I were
Right.
to join Christianity. But I think that what people are loving from this is that an outsider is coming in and looking at Christianity from an outside perspective and is being respectful. And my hopes is that maybe other people who are also upset with God as I was, who are fighting with God right now, can go, okay, if this guy can at least come to the door and look
Come on.
at Christian music
Yeah.
and talk to Christian people, and be okay, and also walk away intact, meaning Christians didn't tear them apart,
Yeah.
then maybe I can listen to the music too and see what Christianity is about. Maybe Christ isn't so bad. Maybe there is a message there that's meant for me, that I can still be on the outside, and maybe if it calls me, maybe I can join Christianity. But if I don't, that's okay, and that's what I'm hoping to achieve.
Well, I mean, I think for me, listening to your story and just meeting you and having conversations with you, I firmly believe in a God that is love, that is a pursuing God, and so I think you would agree with me on saying like God, the Great Spirit, whatever name we want to
Right.
attribute to God, has been pursuing you and walking with you the whole time. So I'm not worried
Right.
about you at all. Like I think you're right where you're supposed to be.
I
And
really do. I really am.
and I think for me, I mean, I'm a pastor, so for me, the church is just community, is coming together in community and getting
Right.
to encourage each other in this. Like one at the Arsenal, like one of our, we call it the code of the Arsenal, so it's kind of like our the tenet, like things that we kind of stick to. And one of the codes of the Arsenal is growth happens in the questions. And so we want to be a place, and I would encourage you in any community that you ever like engage in, and I think you would, because I just meeting you and knowing you, make sure you're in a place where you can ask questions, because I think that's what happened early on in your spiritual journey is you asked a question and you got shot down,
Yeah.
and that's where growth stops, because if you can't ask
Right.
questions, then we can't ever
Right.
grow. And so I think when growth happens in the questions, you're doing that. You're
Right.
doing it online. You're putting yourself out there. You're more vulnerable than most people, and so it's beautiful. I want to get, there's some questions on here I want to get to. I don't want to
Sure.
miss these. I'm gonna
Sure.
scroll back up and see if I can find. Let's see. I like this question right here. I'm gonna throw this one up.
All right.
JM.TX86. Any chance on getting Leonardo to SA? Would love to see an interaction live and to get him a Texas mug and Spurs hat. I'm in. As soon as COVID's over, I got you. I'll fly you out here. We'll put you up, and you're gonna come hang out with us. I'm no joke. You're coming out. We're flying you out. We'll do a live of this again.
I'll tell you what. You throw in like a 10-gallon hat, and I'm in.
I don't even know. I'll find you one. I don't have one, but I'll find you one for sure. No, you're coming out, dude. I'm gonna fly you out here. I'll send my private jet. It says Southwest on the side of it, but I got you. Let's
Awesome.
see. For Leonardo, Ben says, question: where do you see this going in the future? Ben, do you mean like the channel? Do you mean like kind of spiritual journey? What do you mean there? Let's go with both of them. What do you think?
Okay. For the channel, as you can all see, like in the today, I did something different today. The video was over. I said, okay, if you love these videos, because I don't want the full attention to be like on me, you know. So in the comments, I said, if you love these videos, like tell me something about you, like share something about you. What do
Mm,
you, what is your passion? Do you like? Do you listen to only? This is my opportunity to get to know you,
yeah.
um, without without the pressure of like, well, why do you of just the curiosity of wanting to know whether I'm saved or not.
Yeah.
But just okay. So do you only listen to music, or do you also listen to secular music? And if you do listen to secular music, what do you listen to? And if you can go to any concert, you know, future or from the past, like what would it be? And I was reading through some of the comments before we got on here, and you know, people are sharing, you know, just their personal experience of how their passion for God, for scripture, and I like them all because I'm going to go back and answer as many as I possibly can. And by the way, I do spend time answering a lot of people, and for those people who follow along with YouTube, if you follow me on Instagram, to me Instagram is much easier. I like their tools better. It's an easier way for me to know who's messaging me. If and also if I don't know if you've ever
There's your
had
at Tower of
a
Torres.
conversation. Yeah, the conversation with me on Instagram. If you message me something long, sometimes I have a lot to say, so I'll respond with a voice. So I'll
Yeah.
say, "Hey, thank you so much for." I prefer to respond with voice, but thank you for taking the time to comment, etc. So what I hope to do is just to bring everybody together. You know,
Yeah.
just to bring everybody together, and
Love it.
I already am accomplishing a lot of what I think was meant to be accomplished, which is to first of all, you know, I'm not Christian, but I love hearing that people are falling in love with Christianity even more because of the way that I'm describing the songs, or you know, that they're passing these videos over to the leader in the music, like the worship team or whatnot, and now
Yeah.
they are listening to the music and breaking it apart. And like you said, now you guys are playing it Oceans again this week. You're revisiting it, and it's like you're getting excited. You're excited about it again. It's like well, you know, just to kind of give it a comparison, because I'm a pictures guy, like an image guy. It's like when you're married. You know, you're married with someone. You get used to them. You get used to the socks being. You know, your wife gets used to you leaving the socks there on the floor, not washing the dishes, and so then it becomes like, okay. And suddenly you come up with roses, and it's like, oh, and then you say something sweet, and then it's like, oh, okay, yeah, I love you. That's right. Like,
Yeah.
I love you. I just remembered. You know,
I
so
literally,
you know,
I think I told you this last Sunday. My message was, we're in this series. I'm talking a series of talks I'm calling Freedom, and this message this week was freedom to hear it for the first time again. And it was just this idea that sometimes, like the gospel, the good news, just becomes white noise, especially when we're around it a lot, right? And so,
yeah,
your video of oceans and your like these videos that I've watched have inspired me and made me think, like, man, it was like hearing it for the first time again. And so, it was kind of that idea of like, hey, when I say that like God loves you, has that just become white noise, or is that something that like is actually like
right,
you're hearing it for the first time again? You know what I mean? And so,
right,
I love it, man.
right.
Like you're
And,
go ahead.
I always say to myself, because I have a lot of like reminders, self reminders. Um, Energy flows where attention goes, right?
Mm,
I don't know if you heard that, but
yeah.
it's very easy because when we grow up when we grow up in school, our teacher, she doesn't mark what we did right, she marks what we did wrong. X
Right.
wrong, this is wrong, and so we're already used to the negative. And so it's very easy that when life is like beating you down, that you're just solely focusing on all the negative things that are happening. And so like it's important to bring your attention to at least one positive thing,
Mm,
that's good. That's why when I keep my journal, I start my journal. My mornings start with me opening up my journal. I put the date, and I said, today I'm grateful for, and I start with what I'm grateful for
your gratitudes.
this
Yeah.
this morning. It could be, if I can't find anything, like if nothing is going right, I can at least say I woke up today. I woke up, and
Breath. Right.
that's
Yeah.
enough for me, right?
Yeah.
And if not, and if I can't even get to that, if I can't even feel that, I'll say, okay, what do I hope to accomplish today? At least
Mm,
one little thing,
yeah.
one little. And so I'll write it. And at the end of my day, I close out my journal asking myself, did I at least accomplish that one thing? And if the answer it happens to be no, I didn't accomplish it, I just go, can we do it? Can we try again tomorrow? And so now it's still like stays with me, you know?
Yeah.
And what's about what you just said is that's to me, and not to bash Catholicism. I'm not about that spirit anymore, but it is that repetitive. You know, you sit there, it's the music, they all walk in and everybody, and then the priest says, sit down, you sit down, and then they say, we're now going to read from the letters of so and so, and he reads from the Bible, and then the scolding begins. It's like, you guys don't church often. It's scolding. All right, everybody rise, and then okay, we communion, and then more scolding followed by guilt, with a side of guilt, and it's just, what did I learn other than I'm a bad person, other than I'm bad and I should be punished and I should try harder, and sermons like that are, to me, is important, because you're saying, hey, like this could be white noise from time to time, and sometimes we go about our daily routine, forgetting the love of Christ, or the love of the Great Spirit. And here, can you look for one thing in your life right now where the Great Spirit is telling you that he loves you? You can always find one.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's my end of rant.
Love it. He's preaching out here. Kelly Beard asked, did you get a chance to sort out what was meant by another in the fire?
Yes.
Got it.
Many beautiful people went through I won't say trouble, because it's their time, and I want to appreciate that they actually take the time to do this. They did. They told me the story. I can't commit to names. My memory is horrible, but about the 3 gentlemen that were sentenced to death.
Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego.
By fire. And so I guess the Great Spirit protected them, and there was another in the fire with them.
Yeah.
Like, it was a 4th. I really like that.
Where did this other guy come from?
Somebody just volunteered?
Yeah. Who jumped in there with them? Yeah, that's an awesome song. I love that one. Here's another one. Carlos Miguel Martinez said, are there plans to react to other non-worship Christian music? So people like John Mark McMillan, King's Kaleidoscope. I love King's K. Jimmy Needham.
Yeah.
Or secular music. And he said, I love the joy you have for music, and I love your reactions.
Yes, with everyone's permission, I would love to, actually. King's Kaleidoscope, first of all, awesome name.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I was listening to them today, because I was like, man, we should have him react to a song, to a video. Obviously, YouTube kicked us off, so we probably won't do that today.
Yeah,
but
probably not.
King's K, I think, has kind of a style that you're gonna like, knowing kind of your '90s, like Deftones and Incubus. Like, I think King's K kind of runs in some of those veins. So I think you're gonna like them. John Mark McMillan too.
The other day. Okay. I was on Instagram Live, and I was just testing it out and see what people wanted. And I wanted to do non-popular songs, like not the big songs like Hillsong. And we tried a couple, and someone suggested, what was it? Jesus Culture, The Light of Your Face. Mm-hmm. And I heard it, and mid-song I was thinking, I should have waited. Like, this was powerful, because it starts off kind of dark, well, not dark like evil, but it starts kind of like in the undertones, where you can kind of sense that the person who's about to sing is not in a good place, and so it's like asking, Father bless me, and it starts working its way up to that powerful, just like I love the I forget the melody, but I've listened to it several times since, just because I love those heavy boom and I love that. So if anybody has any of that, send it to me. I just love that stuff.
Jesus Culture definitely has your feel to it, I think.
So yes, to answer the question, yes, I would love to do other non-worship. Sure, like throw that stuff in there. I would love to do maybe some of the stuff that I've already enjoyed. I'd like to have a segment where I share my favorite stuff with you all, since you've all shared your favorites with me. I'd like to, I'd hope that everyone is as open, as I've been with you, that you're open to listening to stuff that I like. Of course, I'm not going to throw in some like Megadeth or anything that's like, pretty like I'm not going to throw like a Cardi B in there or anything. I don't like that music. But if you're open to listening to stuff that's in another language, like music from India or music from like Arabic or even like flamenco, which is my all-time favorite flamenco music. Yeah, I would love to share some of my favorites too.
Stacy Holtgren asked a question. I want to see how you react to this because you're such a nice guy. Is it Christians that keep you from Christ?
Well, see, again, language there like implies that I'm kept away from Christ, and like I said, to me, Christ is like my brother.
Come on, you preach so much and you don't even know it.
Yeah, but you see, I'm big. I'm big on labels. Like I don't like to label. I try to label myself as. Honestly, I went through a conversation with the Great Spirit to where I even got to the point where I don't even consider myself to be really like Leonardo. I just go by that name for the sake of everyone knowing who they're talking about when they say my name. But like I internally, like I already know that's just the name that was given to me. What I am like that is Well, are you familiar with the Great I Am?
Yeah.
I just leave
it. So there was another song. I forget which one of the Hillsong songs it was, but you had a question, and you probably already got this answered too. It was, he calls us by his name, and you're like, did you already get an answer to that question as well?
I got several answers to that, but I think someone pointed out that I was kind of more or less along the in the ballpark, because I understood that from my experience where that studying like all these other religions and stuff, and coming to the point where I know that I'm one with the Great Spirit, and to me, like behind Leonardo, there's no separation. There's no separation between the Great Spirit and me. It's just language separates us.
Right.
But when I heard that, like you call me by your name, it just almost like if God recognizes the God in me, or the saved. I hate to say that because language. People are like, "What do you mean you're God?" I'm not saying that I'm God. I'm just saying that God recognizes the part of me that's the one with Him. If that.
Yeah, no, I think you're safe to say that completely.
Okay.
I think the other day we've talked about John 17 and the prayer that Jesus prayed to Father about being united, that we would know that we are united as one with Him, as He is with His Father. And I think with that, He calls us by His name. It'd be like my kids, right? My sons and my daughters, or my daughter, they all carry my name, right? They my last name is Belew, and they all carry my name because they are part of the family. They're in the family. And I think the idea there is, you call me by your name. We've been adopted into the family. We're in the family. It calls us, children of God, and so we're His. And so I think that's kind of the idea there.
Quick question / remark.
Yeah.
There's again, I'm an amateur in the Bible, but I know a couple of scriptures, and I have a couple of them that are my favorite. But one that really stands out to me, and I think I mentioned it to you the other day, that it says that where two people meet, or where three people meet, I'm there, or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm paraphrasing here.
Yeah, we're two guys.
But it doesn't say that where three Christians meet, I'm there, right? So if two Christians, an atheist and a Muslim come together, does that mean that God won't be there?
No.
All right. On to the next question.
Yeah, no, I mean, no. We talked about this the other day. I mean, can you get away from God if we are in God, if God created all things, if He's in all things? So no, I don't think you can. And I think I saw a comment on, actually, I didn't realize it, but it was my wife. This awesome comment. She said, "This is Leonardo's version of community. It's perfect." Which I think is true. Like when we talk about community, we talk about church and what we want from that. Like, this is it. Like, you have community. And I think we've talked about your family and stuff too, which we should probably even kind of answer some of that too. But let me see if there's any more.
Can I point out one that I like here by Liz Hill?
Uh-huh.
I'm not sure if she's on, but she I don't know. Can I do? No, I can't.
Can you do it? Which one is it?
She says your videos helped me. See it? It's at minute 9:17.
9:17. I got you.
Right, and this is the first one in 9:17.
Got it. There you go.
Yeah. So says your videos helped me get through the past really rough couple of weeks, and I needed your honesty.
Mm.
You know, one of the things, one of the main things that I really like. I told you I go on Facebook.
Yeah.
The purpose was not to try to get tips from people. The point was that I started seeing that a lot of people were stressed out because of what was happening with this whole COVID thing.
Yeah.
People were starting to go out, and I realized some people aren't used to being by themselves. I'm an introvert. I actually am very comfortable being completely by myself without, just put me in a room, give me my ukulele or my guitar, and I'm happy, right?
Yeah.
But some people aren't, they can't, or
Yeah,
they're
I'm not.
stuck with someone in their house who's making it difficult for them to be at peace in their home. So I understand people are having a hard time coping with COVID. I just jumped on Facebook. I said, hey, we're like, grab your drink, grab a coffee, grab water, grab tea or tequila, whatever your drink of choice is,
Yeah.
and join me for
Tequila.
a couple of minutes. I said, a couple of minutes of just listen, like I'm going to play a couple of songs for you to get our minds off of this whole thing. I'm going to talk to you about how I'm coping with this thing, and hopefully you communicate with me about how you're getting through, and we share ideas, and hopefully someone goes, oh, that's a really good idea. Because I'm pretty sure somebody right now is going to go, I'm going to journal. I'm going to start journaling
yeah, absolutely,
tonight. And that's it, man. Just me sharing my experience, you sharing your experience, and we borrow from one another, and says, you know what, that's a really good practice. I'm going to try that. It may not even work for me, but I'm going to try that. And if honesty worked for Liz Hill, then that's what the Great Spirit put me on this channel for, and then that's it. I'm good with that.
Well,
doesn't have to be anything.
Honesty and vulnerability breed vulnerability, right? Vulnerability breeds vulnerability. So I think seeing your vulnerability gives people permission to be vulnerable, gives people permission to enter in and be honest. And so, there's things, and we didn't get into it. This is about you tonight, but I mean, like, even your comments about like your biological father, not knowing your biological father, like that. I mean, that was I know my biological father, but he gave me up when I was 6. So I mean, we share that in common, where it was like a rejection in that way,
right?
And honestly, in my spiritual journey and in my walk of faith, like, that was a big deal for me. Like, I don't know that I want to deal with a heavenly Father when like the love of an earthly father, like, just let me down. And so, I think sharing in your vulnerability. And that, I mean, that's the whole point of this. The convo is that we can have conversations, because it's for us to get to know each other. But really, like I said, it's people that inspire me that I want to share with other people, because I think we can get inspiration from that.
And something, just to kind of give you another idea. You don't always have to, like, I know vulnerability is like super scary. You're putting yourself out there. You don't know how the other person's going to respond. Obviously, what happened with the priest, and with my uncle, you don't know. Yeah. So that's scary. It's scary to put yourself out there, right? Mm-hmm. Just like it's scary for me to be. I'm an introvert, and I'm on YouTube now, and like, and like, I'm putting videos out there, and I'm comfortable in that way. But my point that I want to get to is that you don't always have to say it out loud to another person. You can even record it yourself. Record it to yourself, and then later on listen to it and play it back, and listen to yourself without judgment, without trying to feel what your recording is feeding you. And maybe somehow it makes more sense because you heard it out loud. Maybe it makes more sense because you heard it at another time when you weren't feeling that. Yeah. And then it gets insight into yourself, and you say, okay, I know what was going on. I was just eating a bunch of junk food that day, and I had a bad day at work, and so I felt that way. But today that I ate this amazing meal, I don't feel that. So guess what? Now I've helped myself. Now I know that maybe every day I should eat, or I should go on that walk, or what have you, whatever it is that you do.
I love it. There's another one. Eric Mills asks, has anyone from Hillsong reached out to you after these reaction videos?
The church, yes, a lot of people from the church. Some someone said that they are friends with someone who's friends with Joel, and that they shared the video with that friend in hopes that I guess Joel would see it.
Yeah.
But no one directly yet. So
That I think I told you when we were talking the other day. My like dream would have been like, hey, so you had some questions about lyrics, and about what this means. Like, hang on a second, and I wanted like my dream was like pop Joel or Taya on, right, and you get to ask them questions about their music, but I don't have that kind of reach. So sorry, dude.
to hear from the horse's mouth.
Yeah, that's it. Like, hey, I can tell you, but maybe this person can answer you better. But
Yeah.
I just don't have that reach.
We'll get there. We'll get
Yeah,
there.
yeah, right. Let's see if we got any more on here. Um, I think I know your answer to this one, but let's throw this one up. Would you be open to Hawaiian music?
Yes, I would actually. I would. One of my best friends. Well, it's not. He's not. One of my best friends in high school. I joined the marching band because I wanted to be in the stage band, in the jazz band, and there wasn't a class for jazz band, so I had to be in band 101 or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and I played trumpet there. But we'd stop playing that, and then I'd sit with the guitar. But my best friend, Fafeai, may he rest in peace. He was from Samoa. He's the coolest guy ever. The greatest bass player that I've ever had the pleasure of playing with. He's the one that taught me how to play the ukulele, and you know,
Come on, play something for us.
This little thing. Like, I have a friend, Andy, who
Oh, that is awesome. Little Cohiba, yeah, little cigar case. That's sick.
Yeah, I used to work at a print shop, and I did a banner for the Santa Fe Springs Art Festival, and and they gave me tickets to it. And there was a vendor there who's now a really good friend of mine. I gotta make sure I don't throw the word best friend. Where he's a really good friend of mine. He's in Santa Fe Springs, and he makes these by hand. So he takes old cigar boxes, and he takes lunch boxes and makes ukuleles out of them. I'll if anybody's interested, let me know, and I'll connect you with him. But he's and it's a legit instrument. It's not a toy.
Play something for us.
Okay. Can it be in Spanish?
Yeah, of course.
Te he prometido que te he de olvidar cuánto has querido y yo te supe dar. Solo y herido, así me dejas. Forgot to warm up. Sabiendo que mañana irás con otro al altar. Llorarás, llorarás por tu capricho. Y yo sé que es a mí a quien quieres. No podrás ser feliz con ningún otro, pues conmigo conociste el amor, sí, el amor, sí, el amor.
Hey, let's go. I love that N&W Outdoors said, I only understood mañana.
Porque mañana, not even amor?
Yeah, amor. You got that one. I like this JM.tx86. Can it be in Spanish? Man, you're talking to Texans here, bro.
You're not down, fool.
Yeah. Hey, Anthony G asked, have you heard of the cantinas?
The cantinas?
Yeah.
No.
Our family, it's 5 Samoan brothers. They sing worship. I guess they still do. I know when I was growing up, we're about the same age. When I was growing up, they were definitely pretty big in like the 90s and early 2000s, probably.
Okay, I'm gonna add it to my list so I can check them out.
I think we talked about like you're gonna start doing some Spanish stuff too. I know you did on your Instagram the other day. You reviewed some Spanish songs.
Right.
on
Yeah.
your Instagram live.
Yeah, that's pretty
Um,
cool. I just absolutely love music, man. So,
yeah.
I made so many, for example, like, so I listen to Arabic music, right? I used to go to the liquor store around the corner from my house, not to buy liquor, I don't drink, but to get I'm a heavy Coke and Pepsi drinker.
Yeah.
But
I'm a
I would walk.
I'm a big Dr. Pepper guy.
Oh yeah, of course
I'm
you
a
would be. No,
Texan,
I'm
bro.
kidding.
I'm a Texan.
So I'd walk to the liquor store, and there was a gentleman there, and I heard him speaking on the phone, and I was like, "What language are you speaking?" He's like, Arabic," and I go, "Oh, Arabic. Okay, cool, cool, cool." I go, "Hey, do you know this song?" And then I go, "I do have Vic Shorty, and he's like looking at me like he's seeing an alien. He's like,
Yeah.
"You know Arabic?" And I was like, "Well, yes, but I like that song." And he's like, "Oh, you like my music?" I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, man. Like the beats are awesome." I go, "Do you have anything?" And then he started drumming on the counter, and he was the type of guy that would always walk in and was like, "Oh, 275," and then
Yeah.
just like, "Thank you," and like serious, And
Like
after
came
that, he'd go,
alive.
"Yeah," he was just like, "Hey, okay,"
Yeah.
and he would beat on the thing. So like that's what music does, man.
Yeah.
It's such a beautiful thing. I was just having a conversation. Sorry, real quickly, and then we'll go back to questions. I was talking to someone recently about the a documentary called Alive Inside. Have you ever heard it?
Mm-mm.
No. So it's a documentary about these homes where they had older people with dementia, and they recorded where their family would visit them, and they would be like, hey sister, it's me, and then she wouldn't recognize her sister at all. But this doctor wanted to do music therapy, so he bought iPods, and he wanted to have some kind of program where they would fund the music program, but they didn't have enough evidence
Mm.
to fund it. But what he did was he would ask the family, like, what kind of music did they listen to when they were younger, and they would put on headphones and they would play, and then suddenly they went from this to,
Mm.
"Oh, my sister used to like that. I remember we used to walk from school," and they would suddenly remember
Yeah.
things that,
Brought back memories.
and they were like, "Yeah, exactly."
Mm.
And so to me, that kind of tells me that music just has that kind of power. Like, you don't just remember it with your brain, you remember it with your entire body. And so when you hear the song, like, it's a time machine to me too, man. It really is.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Okay.
mean, even after you mentioned Incubus the other day, I was playing Incubus this yesterday. We went to get coffee. I do a coffee date. So I've got my daughter's 18 months old, and so every morning, especially right now during this whole quarantine thing, I throw her in the car. Well, I don't throw her. I put her in her car seat, but put her in the
I'm
car
like, come
seat.
on, man.
Put her in the car seat. And we go on a coffee date. So we go to my favorite coffee shop here in San Antonio, Gold Coffee, and they're doing curbside. So I order online. We sit outside, and they bring my coffee, and we play some music. And so I played Incubus the last couple days, and she was kind of moving. At first, I put on a song. She goes, "No, no." And I was like, wait, let's try it again. I even put on, we went through some Incubus, and then I was like, man, I haven't listened to some 90s and like early 2000s rock in a while. Like, that
Yeah,
was my jam. So I went back to it and started
everybody
listening to some
should.
stuff, man. It's been a while. But let
Yeah.
me see. What else we got in here? One of the guys, I want to put this up before I forget. Darren Grimm said, love the ukulele, would love the contact info for the builder. So
Okay.
I was on
I
Facebook.
will do me a favor and send me a message on Instagram
Yeah,
if you
shoot
have
him
it.
a
If you don't
message. Here, I'll throw up Instagram. There's his Instagram right there. There's Leo's Instagram. So shoot him a message on Instagram at Towers of Torres. Shoot him a message. That way he can get you that info, and
yeah,
he will.
and I'll get you the info.
Yeah, he'll respond for sure. I know you were quick, man, and we talked a lot. Let's see. I did see this one too. Listen to Alisa. Her music is poetry.
Okay. I'm gonna add it to the list.
And I know your list has got to be getting long, man.
It is, but you know what? I'm gonna get on Instagram Live every once in a while and read off the list,
Yeah.
and we'll pick some stuff on Instagram Live so that we could just get through some of these, because I feel bad. Like, some people ask for a song that nobody else is asking, and I don't want to do it on the YouTube channel, and then well, I guess I could anyway, but it's just better if I did it on Instagram Live,
Right.
and we could do more. The other day I knocked out like 4 songs, I think, in one
Yeah,
single
you
video.
did. Yeah.
And so yeah, this way we can get more.
I like this
more.
question. Carlos Moreno wants to know: have you heard of Whataburger?
No.
Whataburger.
Whataburger.
You'll
Okay.
know what it is when you come out to San Antonio. I got you. Don't you worry about it.
Okay.
We'll introduce
We
you.
have In-N-Out. That's what we have here.
Yeah, that's not the same thing.
have you had In-N-Out?
Yeah, man. I used to live in California. But no, and now In-N-Out is in San Antonio, and so there it's the battle. Whataburger and In-N-Out. Yeah.
Okay.
We'll see. Don't knock it when you come here. We'll see what you think.
Come on, man. Have I knocked anything lately?
Yeah, you'll probably give it 5 stars.
I'm gonna do food reviews now.
Hey, Rob Clark, who's on staff here. He's the guy that I sent the message to. That was like, it's like hearing it for the first time. He actually said something the other day that take it for what it is, take it or leave it, if you like it or not. But he's like, man, I think it'd be cool if Leonardo, when he reviewed music, if he did like a scale for like lyrics and like a scale for the music.
Okay.
And just because I love listening to you talk about the lyrics, because and then I love listening to you talk about the instruments and how the music, the composition, and how it all worked. But I thought it was a good idea, so I wanted to throw it out there to you.
Yeah. I might have to adjust the format a little bit, but yeah, because when I listen to it first, I try my best to listen to everything that's going on, and sometimes if I hear bass and then the lyrics kind of escape me.
Yeah, for sure.
But what I might do is just do a reaction to it all, stop it, and listen to it maybe again a couple times specifically for the lyrics, and then go back.
There you go. There's In-N-Out. What's that?
I don't know. Is that sarcasm or?
I don't know. No. Reese Amanda. He lives here in Texas. Yeah, there was another one. In&W Outdoors said, what kind of guitar does Leo play?
Okay. Actually, I have I'm not big on owning guitars, but I have an acoustic guitar that's not really a name brand. It just has an eagle on it, but I like the sound. Play some flamenco. Ole. So there's that, and then I have a Squire, a Thunder Squire.
Thunder Squire, nice.
That was put away. I haven't grabbed it in a while. Actually, I do want to point something out. A gentleman, he's gonna kill me. I forgot it. I didn't really get his name. I've seen so many names. Like I said, like I'm bad with names, but if I can find it real quickly. Well, after this morning, a gentleman said he wanted to reach out to me because he wanted to give me. He wanted to gift me a little electric drum set for my baby Luna.
Yeah.
And so I'm gonna go. He lives nearby, actually. He lives.
Oh, come on. Hey, talk about that. So there's a few more questions I want to throw up, but talk about that. You've got
sure.
How many kiddos?
I have 2 daughters, and they're my oldest one is probably watching. She's 14. She's in San Bernardino with her grandmother right now, and 5 Luna, which is the one that you saw hovering over my shoulder in one of those videos.
Yeah, for sure.
she's
cute.
I don't know if you saw, if you noticed that she heard the word Jesus on the screen. She's like, Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, that was one of my questions. Like, do you talk about like to your kids about like spirituality and stuff like that?
Not specifically, but indirectly, I guess I would tell them. I speak to them about, just I'm more about philosophical teachings more than teaching, because there will be a time my oldest daughter notices, because I have this thing, if I can share that the number 333 like appears almost everywhere for me, and that's like the call too sometimes. But my daughter will notice it. She's like, "That's really weird," and then she'll notice it. Look, 333 right there. And I don't know if we were looking for them or whatnot, but she notices things. But my oldest one, she's a little bit more curious. She does talk to me about stuff, and I talk to her about things. But it's more casual. It's more in a I guess like more philosophical teachings rather than the Great Spirit and more
Right.
on
Gotcha.
that level. I
Cool.
don't know if that answers.
No, that's good. I just wanted to get to this comment. Natalie says she's been watching since 3 a.m. from South Africa, so she just thinks it's more than fair that Leonardo reviews So Will I. And I would agree. I would totally agree. Except the last time, Natalie, I don't know if you were here at the beginning, but we played a video at the beginning from YouTube, and YouTube shut us down. They kicked us off. So I was
Yeah.
totally gonna make him do that. Like I was just gonna throw it up and be like, "Hey, man, I'm controlling this, so you're just gonna have to listen." But but I agree.
Okay.
Anyway, go ahead.
I wanted to. Okay, so then what I'll do, okay, is I'm gonna make everybody wait on the blessing, and I'm
Yeah.
gonna do so will I first, and then we'll do the blessing. How about that?
I'm excited to see what you're gonna say about it. So Will I is so poetic and metaphoric, and you're gonna like it. I think you're
Oh,
gonna dig it.
that's good then. I guess it could be the first song that I do the review lyrics and what's going on with music.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's very lyric heavy. So good
Awesome.
luck.
Yeah, get some sleep, people. Please sleep.
Yeah, go to sleep. Go to sleep. Um, let's see what else we got, man. We knew we were gonna be out here for a while, man. 2 hours.
Yeah,
We did
I'm
it.
good if you're good. I'm good if you're good. I don't know. You could bring this to a close. This is your show. I'm just on it.
Hey, man, I'm here. I'm here until I'm looking through here. I did see this one. Are you familiar with? And what do you think of the Gypsy Kings?
What I think of the Gypsy Kings. I saw the Gypsy Kings live in the Greek Theater years back. I love the Gypsy Kings. They have a really good sound. However, but yeah, I consider them more like flamenco jazz than flamenco. I like what would I call it? Like folk,
Mm.
any folk anything. So like if you give me like music from India, the thing that I go to is like what does their folk music sound like? From Mexico, like what does the folk music in Mexico sound like? Or like that's like what I always jump to. And
Yeah.
so when it comes to like Spanish music, like from Spain, I go to like people like Paco de Lucia, Enrique Morente, Estrella Morente, who sing like their music is not okay. So Gypsy Kings, they follow sort of like this. Their structure of their music is timed. It's not free. It's like, okay, first we're gonna play the verse, then the chorus, then the verse, then a bridge, then the chorus, then we're gonna end the song. And
Yeah.
with flamenco, it's free. It's free. Okay, the guitar plays a little something nice, whatever comes out from him, because flamenco music is all about the spirit too. So they'll play like the guitar play something, and then he'll stop playing. He'll give a chord, and then he'll hold that chord, and then look to the singer, and the singer goes, okay, now it's me, and then the singer will do something also improvised, and the guitarist doesn't know where she's going, but she can literally take that voice anywhere, and the guitarist will just respond to. So it's like it's a conversation that's happening live. And one of the things I know you heard me say, "Ale," they say that the word "ole" or "ale," they say "ale." It comes from the word "Allah," which to them they say it when the singer or the guitarist or whoever's performing does something that appears like they were out of the way, and the Great Spirit came in and took their place and sang that for them, and then retracted. And so they go, "Ole!" Like, "Oh man, oh that wasn't you, that was God right there."
That just that's cool.
Yeah, and so I appreciate what Gypsy King does, but I don't listen to them too much because it's flamenco, Flamenco, flamenco.
Flamenco. I thought this was a cool one too. Shared.
Torre Fuerte. Torre Fuerte, quiero volver a empezar en tales mesmos entender. Brazilian. Okay, yeah, I was like, that sounds Portuguese.
Yeah.
Cool. So let me put those on the ever growing
from Chile. That's cool.
Yeah, that's another amazing thing. And people were just like, this morning I was like, okay, can you guys just tell me where you're watching from? It's like Africa, China, like Australia, Netherlands. It's just beautiful. Man. It's beautiful.
Crazy. Yeah, I don't know where Mark Pita is at, but it says it's 5 a.m. where he's at right now.
Oh,
so, that's crazy.
Well, thank you.
Here's a good one. Do you know this one?
Remedios Amaya. No, thank you. You're teaching me. That's what.
That's what community's all about, right?
Yeah, yeah, of course. Yeah. Okay. I'll check them out. I'll check them out, and then I'll let you know.
Man, this is awesome. Oh, Mark's in Italy. That's where Mark's at 5 a.m. Crazy.
Right. Somebody pointed out that flamenco music comes from gypsy music, which is from the Moors, which were mostly Islamic. Right. So all of their scales
That's what
are
ABBA.
very heavily influenced by Islamic scales, which is another love of mine. Just like Arabic, those like old Jewish traditional songs someone shared with me a few days ago is just beautiful. With this like this little guitar that just, oh man, it's just, oh,
It's such a
beautiful.
different sound. I know. So when I was in the army, I went to Iraq twice, and so like hearing Arabic music, but it is such a just a different sound.
Mm.
Like the way that the music kind of plays and goes, but it's super cool.
Yeah,
It's
there's a
beautiful.
really awesome. It's an awesome video I saw the other day of this tourist who was in Spain. He went into like I think like an abandoned mosque or something. It's like full of tourists,
Hmm.
and he said that the walls yearned to hear the call of God again, and so he just broke into song and he was just like singing those beautiful, melodic scales that they have, and people just started recording him, and it was just, I don't know, it's just this beautiful sound, and
Yeah.
if you could suspend what you believe, or what you think about that, for a second, and just listen to how the beautiful sound that's coming out from just another human being, and to wonder like where did that come from, like
Hmm.
what's the history behind it. I mean, you just come across a lot of beautiful music.
That's awesome. Freddie had a question. I don't know if Freddie was one of your early followers on YouTube, but he said, now that the people album's done, what's next?
A lot of people are asking me to do another album, but I think I'm going to take a tiny break from albums and get to the list of songs that people have requested. I can't pull up the list right now, but there's a lot of elevation worship and a lot of Hillsong worship and Hillsong. Is it Young and Free?
Yep.
There's a lot of that's on the list. And then for more, I mean, you could join me on Instagram. On Instagram, I will be doing, all the other stuff. So on the list of things that I might do on Instagram, I've got casting crowns. I've got I don't know, is Egypt like Bethel? Is that a big one? Because I'm not sure if I should put it there.
Yeah, it's Corey Asbury, so it's probably a bigger song, I would
Okay.
guess.
There's a Chris Renzima or Renzima.
Chris Rimsma. I think he sings with oh, is it Jesus Culture maybe?
I've got Planet Shakers too. I'm not sure about that. Carrie Job or Joby. Somebody actually, yeah,
I don't know.
someone.
Chris Rimsma, I don't know him. I looked him up. Yeah, that's
Okay.
what I know.
So yeah,
Carrie
I'm just
Job's
gonna
big,
I'm just gonna do a couple of. Okay.
but
So
you're
I'm
gonna
just gonna
you're
fill
gonna stick in the
out the
Christian music
songs
kind of category,
for a little
worship
bit.
kind of.
Yeah, for a little
Yeah,
bit. I
I
just
mean it's
I just want to
working,
explore it
like
a little more. I know I want to explore it a little bit more
yeah.
because
No, I'm just messing with you. No, I,
I
I
really
think
do.
it's gonna be good for you to keep walking through. It's cool.
Yeah.
Question for Bruce Leo. What's your girlfriend's reaction to how your channel's blowing up?
It's a cocktail of emotions.
Yeah.
Mostly happy and very supportive. A little bit, just wow,
Yeah.
but mostly supportive. Early, just before I got on, she just sent me this wonderful message, just like, you don't need luck, but good luck, and just be yourself. So she's very, very supportive,
That's awesome.
extremely supportive.
And you have been yourself. I mean that the two times now that we've had long conversations, it's fun for me. I saw a comment earlier where it just said this doesn't seem like an interview, just two friends having a,
Yeah,
having a conversation. So I'm
yeah,
glad. I'm glad that that's
yeah,
what it feels like, and that's what it feels like to me. So
yeah,
definitely, let's see.
yeah. Me too.
These are coming in.
I guess we're doing the name justice, huh? The convo.
The combo. That's it. This guy said Chris Renzema is from Nashville.
Okay.
I liked that comment. That's cool. Elevation songs. One of the guys said there's songs a form of communication. we're made to communicate with God.
Yes,
I think is cool.
yes. And so that's kind of what I'm doing. I listen to music around the world, especially music that is spiritual to that region, because I want to say, okay, God speaks through us through music. I think music is one of the most sacred things that mankind has available to him to be able to express something from within. And if he allows himself to be open enough to move himself out of the way and get and allow the Great Spirit to like come through, you know, beautiful messages can come. And so that's kind of part of what I'm doing here is exploring what the Great Spirit has to say through Christian music.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's amazing.
good point. There's some elevation in salsa. Okay, yeah. If you can share that link with me on Instagram, that'd be great. Salsa, I can imagine. Yeah, but
They're funny. They come on. I mean, they come in through StreamYard, so it's cool. But they're coming in at different. Like I scroll down and I'm like, wait, I didn't see that one before.
oh, there's but
Antonio said originally from
comments.
Boston, went to Berkeley School of Music to get my master's there. Been watching you, Leonardo, from the start. Appreciate the technicality you use, but authenticity too. That's cool.
I think I was supposed to go to Berkeley.
Yeah.
Yeah, my counselor wanted me to, but money.
Money. I thought this one was
Yeah.
cool too. My name's Noah Keffer. I'm from Georgia. I'm about to turn 16, which is irrelevant. But a couple months ago, I was called to ministry, and I've been striving towards that with God. And it says, I think he had a follow up. Do you have any tips for a young guy trying to become a pastor? Yeah, man, just
That's all you.
just continue on your path. No rush for this thing, man. It's allow kind of God to just guide that direction. I mean, Leo, you even talked about tonight, like the Great Spirit leading you and just trusting there. So just do that, man. Trust in that. Go ahead. Yeah.
Can I?
Yeah.
Can you go back to the first half?
Mm-hmm.
I think the Great Spirit answered it. You see
Yeah.
that last word there?
Do. That's do. That's it. It cut off at do. That's it.
Yeah.
Just keep doing what you're doing. Keep rolling and allow it to happen. Don't try and make it happen. Just allow it to happen.
I'm saying like I'm a pastor. Yeah, that's
You are, bro. You just don't know. What genres of music are you not too into?
Okay, I don't listen to any like mumble rap. Mumble rap I don't understand.
SoundCloud rapping. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm open to listening to it, but I already know that it's not really going to have anything that I can relate to. I understand that they probably do relate to the lyrics. That's their lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they like. That's how they communicate to each other about their daily like struggles.
Right.
But I don't resonate with it because, well, obviously I'm not. I mean, I grew up in Compton, but I spent a lot of time in my room listening to music. Staying away from the gangs and the drugs and all that, and then also like studying a little bit language because I saw it as sort of as my ticket out. So I'm not into that, and I'm also not into reggaeton, which is my girlfriend's into reggaeton. That's the only thing that we're kind of like total opposites.
Yeah. So those are the two.
Those are the two. Yeah. Anything else, I'm like open. Even like gangster rap. From time to time, I'll throw in a little Mos Def or a little Snoop Dogg, a little bit, a little bit of something, a little bit of everything.
Nice, man. That's the good rap.
What about you?
the old rap, huh?
What about you? What music do you like not mess with?
Yeah, mumble rap's not really my thing. I think I told you the other night, but what's funny, I'm not a big music guy. Like I love music and I enjoy it. When good music's on, I move to it. But it's
Oh, that's right.
There's a lot of times where I get in the car and I forget to turn something on, or I'm listening to. I do a lot of like audiobooks and stuff. So I like music. I listen. I mean, as cliche as it is, as a pastor, I do listen to some worship music quite a bit. But I like hip hop, which just is random. But like John Bellion is a guy that I like to listen to a lot. And what's interesting is a lot of the guys, um, like John Bellion, like Chance the Rapper, some of these guys that I that I throw on, they like you hear their spirituality in it. Like there's like, man, these guys grew up in church. There's some like they're talking about God and stuff. And so for me,
Yeah,
it's always fun to see that and to kind of hear that. And so
cool.
yeah, that's kind of stuff I'm into if I'm listening to music. But
I have a question for you.
yeah.
Is there a movie that you enjoy watching because of the music? Like, has music ever stood out in like a in any film?
Hmm. Put me on the spot.
Is there like a
Trying to
soundtrack that maybe that you're like, oh, that was cool. Like, I noticed the music.
Yeah, what like I said, I'm into hip hop a little bit, so the soundtrack to Black Panther was pretty ridiculous. Um,
Yeah,
I liked that one. And you know
yeah.
what? What's the movie, the Disney movie? Oh, what is it? It came out a few years ago. It's about like Dia de los Muertos.
Oh, are you talking about Coco?
Coco. Man, I love Coco. My kids loved it. We had a blast with that one. So that was a lot of fun. But no, I can't
Yeah.
think of one that like the soundtrack. Like I said, I'm just not music's not typically like I like it, but I don't. If you ask my wife, like when music comes on that I think I know the words to, I never actually know the words. And so I was singing, she's like, "That's not even the words." And my wife sings like she's an incredible vocalist. She's totally like she's like trained and is very controlled in the way she sings, and so like she's totally into it. And it's just I like music, I enjoy it, but it's just I don't know what I'm listening to.
Yeah. No, I feel you on that because I mean I love music, but I go in the car and sometimes I won't turn on music unless I'm obsessing over a specific like lyric or a specific like song. Then I will put something on. But mostly like when I go and pick my daughter up, I have about an hour and a half drive or so, and I would rather listen to like a lecture so that I can learn something. And I even discovered this on YouTube. You can speed up the lecture. I don't know if you know that.
Yeah.
Like
Oh
you
yeah.
can go to settings and then speed it up and you will like an hour's worth of like knowledge you could just cram it in like half an hour to
Yeah, I do
45
the
minutes.
2 times speed. Yep.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Oh, another one I liked is the Spider-Man, the Into the Spider-Verse. Have you
Oh
seen
yeah,
that?
yeah, I saw that with my girls and I think yeah the music is awesome. Yeah,
The
yeah, see.
the music adds a lot to that one. That's yeah.
uh,
My wife texted me that and reminded me. I saw it pop up.
there's a if I can suggest to everyone, there the soundtrack to a movie called The Fountain. It is the most beautiful song. That whole film is just the most beautiful film I've ever seen. The most like cinematography. It didn't
Mm.
do well in the box office, but mostly because it's a psychological, so one of those kind of like psychological thrillers. I think people didn't like it because you actually have to think while you're watching the film.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
Uh,
I got you.
there are three storylines that are happening simultaneously and they all connect at the end, and it kind of leaves you like, what did I just watch? But the more you watch it, you start picking like it's a spiritual movie. You
Mm.
start picking little from it, and it does talk it points to the Bible. It talks about the tree of life, and the tree of life was hidden, and so they're in search for the tree of life to for like eternal life. And it connects like Mayan culture along with like Spanish
Mm.
culture, and but the music is just the most beautiful music I've ever heard in
It's
a
called The
film.
Fountain.
The Fountain. It's with Hugh Jackman and Rachel Weisz.
All right, I'll check it
It's a,
out.
all right. Do you know the guy that made? Do you know that movie that came out Noah just not that long ago?
Yeah.
Uh, Darren Aronofsky is the director of that
Hmm.
film. He's to this movie. He's also the director to the Black Swan. He
Oh
just
wow.
very beautiful piece, man. You'll love it. I mean, it's just yeah. Anyway, I don't know
I'm
if
gonna
you're
check
into
it out.
movies.
I was gonna throw this up too. I think I already mentioned this one to you, but Mosaic MSC, they Tiembla or Tremble. They do it in both
Yeah,
English and in Spanish, and
I
they actually did. They're in L.A. Mosaics. They're in Hollywood. That
oh really?
the church Mosaic, and then this is their band MSC.
Oh
Um,
okay.
they
Mosaic
yeah, they
MSC.
did.
Okay.
I forget what the album's called, but they did an album in Spanish. They took all their English songs and did a Spanish version for them.
Oh okay, cool. Oh, I like that.
But
It's because some songs don't translate that well into other languages,
Yeah.
but there are some songs that just nail it.
Yeah. No, I think, and I mean, they're like I said, they're there in Hollywood. And I know they've got a lot of people, um, Hispanic community and stuff. So I'm sure that's that. I don't know Spanish. I've heard it in Spanish, but I'm sure they went through it and made sure it's good. So check it out. Maybe that'll be part of your critique of the lyrics. Oh, let's see.
Yeah, I'll check it out. Somebody asked, "Do I like John Mayer?" Yes, I like John Mayer. My favorite song is "Belief." Belief. The lyric is, "Belief is a beautiful armor that makes for the heaviest sword. Like punching underwater, you never can hit who you're trying for. Some need the exhibition, and know they tried. It's the chemical weapon for the war that's raging on inside."
Come on.
Everyone believes from emptiness to everything, and then it says something like and no one's going quietly or something like that. Like it's a beautiful song.
Yeah.
And Gravity. I like Gravity.
We just sing. I don't sing.
Stay the hell. You're good.
You're
good.
He's incredible, man. Super talented.
Yeah, he is. Incredibly talented. Incredible. I think that album. I think they said.
Is Prince one of the greatest guitarists ever? This is a question from Fred.
One of them, yes, of course.
Is that a question?
The question. Well, yeah, of course. One of the greatest, yes, one of the greatest. But yes, he's up there. Really well. Oh, he's up there now. You know.
Yeah, both.
Both, yeah.
All right, man. I think people are even asking for some sound. Oh, here you go. Great music-related movie, August Rush. That was a great movie.
Yes, August Rush is a beautiful movie. I've seen that one. I've seen that
one too. There are 4 soundtracks for Prince of Egypt.
Really? Huh. That's a great film too, by the way.
Steven said the movie The Shack has a Hillsong United song in it. I didn't know that.
Really?
Have you ever seen The Shack?
No.
I think we talked about the other day a book. It's the book where I don't want to ruin it for everybody, but
yeah,
God or Papa was different.
A Rolling Stone?
Than what people expected Papa to be. So no, what's funny is when it came out, I was like out of Bible college, like, and my wife actually read the book, and I was like, you can't read that. Like I was just like total legalistic Christian. I was like all over her, like, no, you can't read that. It's hypocrisy and all kinds of craziness. And now I'm like looking for all kinds of stuff by Paul Young, the guy that wrote The Shack, and and so it's funny how far, like, how we change, right, over our journey, our spiritual journey of, this was 12, 13 years ago now, and now I love it. It's a fun one for me.
Yeah.
What else?
Was a Rolling Stone joke.
This guy Josiah said, I attend Mosaic LA. I highly recommend. What a cool church, man. So we were in LA probably 5 years ago, 6 years ago now. I don't remember. And we'd gone, we were in San Diego and we went to Legoland. I think it is. We went to Legoland, and then we went down to LA and we went to Disneyland with the kids. But in the middle of that, there was a Sunday during the middle of that, and we were like, it was my day. So we went to 3 different churches on Sunday. Mosaic was one of them. It was the last one. They're
that sounds like a name for a band. 3 different churches on Sunday.
3 different churches on Sunday. Oh man, this is fun.
Yeah. I'm sorry, but people are going to be staying up until 7 a.m. wherever they are.
There's a lot of people asking for Hispanic Christian music stuff, which I think would be really cool for you. Just
sure.
I don't know a ton of it, but
if it's got music in it, I'm down.
So I gotta listen to Phil Keaggy, amazing guitar player. Keaggy, I think it is.
Also Christian genre.
Yeah, I think he is.
Okay, cool. I'll put all these names on the Instagram list.
Yeah, you're having a lot to go through, man. But
it's beautiful. It's perfect.
Man, you got any before we hop off of here? Do you have any like last parting words you'd like to any wisdom you'd like to give to the people?
Wisdom?
Yeah, share some of that wisdom with us.
Oh man, I don't know. Okay, I can share a story that my grandfather told me.
Perfect.
That's been it's been one of the biggest lessons for me to in kind of in connection to the comment that that young lady made about honesty and being open or being yourself. My grandfather told me when I was a kid because I came to him just broken because somebody didn't accept what I had done. They rejected it, and he says to me, he goes, "Okay, like I'm gonna tell you a story." He said, "There's a an old man walking with his grandson, and they have a donkey. This is in Mexico, obviously. I'm just kidding. There are donkeys here in America, but they were going from one pueblo, which is a town, from one pueblo to the other, from one town to another, and they had the donkeys, carrying their stuff, their belongings. And right before they get to a town, the the grandson says, "Grandpa, I'm really tired." And so the granddad goes, "Yeah, come here, son." So he puts him on top of the donkey. And as they're passing by the town, the grandfather hears the people say, "Look at that kid! How rude! Like he's on top of the donkey while his grandfather is walking, and his grandfather must be tired, and he's just, kid, come on, man, what are you thinking, right?" So the grandfather feels embarrassed by this, and so he gets him off. And then when they hit the next town, he gets on the donkey. And as they're passing by the town, the townspeople are saying, they say, "Look at that man, old man, letting his grandson walk. He's got no real, like, what's wrong with this guy? He's just." Anyway, so he felt embarrassed by that too. So he goes to the next town, and he goes, "You know what? This time we'll both get on." So they both get on, right? And he hears the people talking, and he says, and the people are saying, "Poor donkey." Both of them are on top of this poor donkey. He's loaded with stuff, and they're just on this donkey struggling, to make his way through the village. So the grandpa's like, "You know what? Forget this, and then we'll both get off." And as they go through the next town, he hears people go, "Look at these idiots. They have a perfect good donkey, and they're walking." And so the moral of the story is, just do whatever makes you happy. Don't worry about what other people are going to say, because you're never going to please everyone. You're going to please some, and you're not going to please others. And so always do what makes you happy, regardless of what other people have to say. How's that?
That's beautiful. I love it.
I can't take credit for that. That's all my grandfather.
Yeah, but that wisdom imparted through you. So it's awesome. I love it.
Yeah.
Man, I had a great time.
Me too.
I don't want to get off here, but it's more than likely the battery in my camera is going to die, and you haven't eaten dinner yet. So
yeah, that's true. Thank you.
You were eating on some yogurt right before this, so I need you to get
some
food in you.
Dude, I had a banana here on hold,
and you didn't even eat it.
No,
man, I loved it.
Yeah, me too.
You're just a breath of fresh air.
Can we get like a thumbs up if we should do this again? Like,
yeah, did you guys like it? You like the combo? Throw some thumbs ups in the comments here. I know it's a 2.5 hour conversation, so maybe hard to share with somebody, but you can clip some pieces out or something. Tell them, hey, watch this part. But
I've seen some that go for like 3 or 4 hours, so you're good.
This is fun, man. I would definitely do this again, and we're gonna hang out. I can't wait until Corona is.
You see me in a
Corona Bigona, when Corona's gone, and we can.
Corona Bigona. I love it. You just reminded me of the actor that does. I forgot his name. He plays House in the show House, Dr. House.
Yeah.
Hugh Laurie is his name.
Yeah.
He's a musician, and he has a song that he goes. Oh, I forgot what it's. I'm gonna send you the link. I'm gonna butcher it, but he rhymes. He rhymes January in in a weird way. He says January. Oh, he goes, "Dead since 1973. You've been dead now. Wait a minute, let me see. 16 years come next January." That's what he said.
January.
Corona Bigona.
Corona Bigona. When Corona is gonna, we're gonna hang out. I'm gonna get you out to San Antonio or I'm gonna fly out to Inland Empire. We're gonna have some fun.
Yeah,
So
let's do
I
it
can't wait, man. Can't wait.
for sure.
I like that Rob Clark gave it 5 stars. Gave the conversation 5 stars. Oh man, yes.
Hey,
Leonardo's
thank you,
5
thank you.
stars.
Yeah,
But yeah, man, I had a blast. Keep
you too. Thank
going.
you.
Keep doing this. It's inspiring. It is reminding us that this isn't like with these songs, like we're getting to hear them again for the first time. And I love that. I love seeing your reactions. Continue to do that, man. Continue putting out your good energy, your good vibe. Man, that's incredible. So yeah, just that's you though. Keep being you. And
Thank you.
people love it. And so I can't wait to see what's gonna happen with your channel and with you and the fam. And I can't wait. I know one of the things you're excited about is being able to find a way to monetize, but not so that you can make money, but so that you can share your love of music with other people.
Right.
In the way of like kids that need instruments and you being able to buy them guitars or give them guitars or
That
like I know it, through our conversation the other day, like your heart is that. And so I'm going to tell you this. So before you get to that, if you're not there yet, if it's not monetizing, I think you've got some incredible people that if you put out some stuff, hey, I've got this kid who's looking for some help. Use that voice, and I think we can make that happen.
I
You were
wanted to the other day, but
you
you
were
jumped
telling
the
me the other
gun.
day about that kid, and I was like, I'll buy a guitar. How much is a guitar? Where do I buy a guitar? I'll do it. So
Yeah,
let me know if that, and I think if you put it out to the community and we could crowdsource like a guitar for a kid to get to learn to play
yeah.
music,
Oh,
like you, yeah, you're gonna do it, man. Your energy is already just encouraging, and so I think being able to share that, and maybe even doing something like this where you get the kid on or the parents on and talk with them and share that
yeah.
incredible time. So yeah, let me
That
know
would be amazing. That would
any
be
of that
amazing
you need
because
help with.
it's not just awesome. It's not just getting that kid the instrument. You're potentially saving their life.
Right.
Their life. If I didn't have a guitar, I'd be out in the street in Compton, and we wouldn't even be having this conversation. So, so that's what it does.
It's it's a lifesaver. So man, I love it. I think the great spirit God is continuing to pursue you, and just show you that warm embrace and how much He loves you. So, man,
Yeah,
I love that, and I think you know that. And I think it's fun to watch your journey, and so continue doing that, man. And I'm gonna send us out with
awesome.
a plug here, but a song that you can review. Um,
Okay.
and we'll see if YouTube kicks us off or not. But I don't think they will for
Maybe
this
not
one.
play all of it.
What's that?
Maybe not play all of it then, because we were like halfway through, and they were
I
like, "Whoa."
know, and I kept thinking I should probably cut this off, and I didn't get a chance to. So here we go. I'll throw it up, and man, I'll hit you up. Loved it.
Yeah.
Thanks again.
Yeah, me too. Thank
I'll
you.
shoot you
Thank you.
this video if you want to cut it up and do whatever you want to do with it, and then
Yeah, let's do it.
everybody, thank you so much for hanging out with us. You guys are incredible. If you haven't followed us, our Instagrams are up on the screen. Follow us there on YouTube at the Arsenal SA or the youtube.com/the Arsenal SA. And then Leonardo's, most of you guys already follow Leonardo, but on Leonardo's, it's youtube.com/Leonardo Torres Music. So go follow, check it out. Can't wait, man. Can't wait for your next one.
I'm excited.
I'm gonna share this screen, and I'll let you review it on the way out.
All right, let's do it.
My guys are gonna freak out that I did this, but you've kind of already heard it. So here we go. You may echo if you talk too much, though, so don't talk too much.
Oh, look, I'm on the sidebar. Suggestions.
There you are. You're just a suggestion right now.
Yeah, I remember that.
This is for one of our worship services a couple weeks ago. We had fun. Little 90s throwback. That's my wife.
Nice. Serious.
Over the mountains and the seas, your river runs
Beautiful
with
voice.
love for me, and I will open up my heart and let the Shiva set me free. I'm happy to be in the truth, and I will daily lift my hands, for I will always sing of when your love came down. Save your love, save your love, save your love. Oh, I could save your love,
Oh,
save your love, save forever. I could save your love.
I like how he throws it like, ah.
Save your love, I could save your love, save your love, save forever. I could. Over the mountains and the seas, your river runs with love for me, and I will.
It feels so good, man.
open my heart and let the healer set me free. I'm happy to be in the truth, and I will daily lift my hands, for I will always sing of when your love came down. Save your love, save your love, save your love. Oh, I could save your love, save your love, save forever. I could save your love, save your love, save your love. Oh, I could save your love, save your love, save forever. I could.
The longest outro ever.
Forever. I could sing of your love 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 forever. Sing of your love, sing of your love.
There it is.
Sing of your love. Oh, I could sing of your love, sing of your love, sing it forever. I could sing of your love, sing of your love, sing of your love. Yeah, I could sing of your love, sing of your love, sing it forever. I could sing of your love forever. Sing of
I need a backdrop like that.
Little white backdrop.
Yeah.
I could sing of your love forever. I could sing of your love
I like that it had these 90s vibe to it. The singer was spot on. I like how he throw his voice sideways, like, ah, you go, okay. That was awesome. The drummer, I feel like need a little bit more energy there, but I get it. It's a pad.
Tell him he needs some energy.
It's not like he can crash over here, so I get it. I'd be
He's
like,
so mad at me that we can't play full kit right now.
and I think I give this song 5 stars.
Hey!
All right, guys. Thank you all for joining. We'll see you on the next round. Please remember to subscribe to Arsenal.
Hey, man, I appreciate it. We just
Appreciate
became
you,
best
man.
friends again.
Yes.
I'll hit you up, man, for real.
Texas hat. All right.
I got you. I got your address. There's a box on its way. You got to do a
Awesome.
review on Arsenal apparel when it gets there.
Okay, you got it.
All right, man. Thanks. Have a good night.
All right. All right, you too.